guys for being here. This is Get on the Bus, presented by Salvage Station and IamAVL. We're so grateful to have y'all with us today, who we are also very grateful to have. We have Billy Strings. We have Mr. Billy Strings on the guitar himself, and then Royal Massa over here on the bass, and then we have Jared Walker on the mandolin, and Mr. Billy Failing on banjo. And we're so grateful to have them here with us today. We're so grateful to have y'all here with us today. But let's jump right in here, right? So y'all are out of Nashville. You're playing 200 gigs a year. You're all over the place. If people want to catch you, all they have to do is just look at their local schedule. What's it like just being on the road like that all the time right now?
That's a
loaded question.
There's a lot of answers to that.
Right.
You know, it's everything. It's everything from the spectrum of fucking totally amazing to holy shit, this is insane. You know, it's like, you know, the whole spectrum and
all the feelings.
It's amazing, but mostly it's amazing. It's an amazing ride that we're kind of on, but it's crazy. The schedule is like, you know, we're always out on the road. So
the road is our
I
home.
think it's kind of a fun, like, a sick little twisted social experiment. You know, let's stick 6 people in a tin can and stick them out, you know, moving 60 miles an hour for 30 days. And see if they don't kill each other.
But you haven't killed each other yet. You haven't killed each other yet, and y'all. It really seems, you know, early on there were a couple changes in the musicians. It really feels the last few times I've seen y'all, like y'all have what you're looking for right now. And I enjoy that. I love. You met Billy at a Fish show?
I did.
Is that correct? Can we delineate about that a little bit? Can you tell me about that? Like, where was it? It was in Nashville?
It was my first show. Was it your first show?
It was my first show.
It was both of our first shows.
Yeah.
And it was the show that Bob Weir came and sang.
Oh, shit. And it won't be your last Fish show, will it?
No. Well, it wasn't even. I went the next night.
It was a really special night. Yeah.
I somehow, a good friend of mine, Brad Erickson, miracled me for the second night.
Hell yeah.
So I made it in there, yeah.
Oh yeah,
it was great. But yeah, I was sitting there trying to figure out what was going on up on stage, and you know, I just remember, you know, I met a bunch of people that night. But I remember when I met Royal, I was like, it was one of those moments where it was, you know, if you're a musician and you meet other musicians out in the real world doing other stuff, and it's like, hey, like, we should jam sometime or something. It's like, yeah. Cool, man, totally, we should. And I feel like I was being totally awkward, and then, you know, I was high too, and, you know, it was just like,
it was a Fish show.
It was a Fish show, right?
So I'm like, yeah, totally, we should jam.
It's when the lights came on after the end, you know, everyone feels that way.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. The best thing about a Fish show is that 5 minutes where you don't think you're going to survive until they start playing music. And then they start playing music. And
they save you.
Oh, fucking good.
Yeah, that was a great show. Bob came out, and there was like this, you know, it's like they just ignited a bomb on stage, and there was a shockwave of love.
Oh. Yeah.
Just love that swept over the entire...
Samson and Delilah love.
Yeah. Oh, shit, dude.
Like, everybody started squeezing each other and screaming about how this is history, and I was just like... You know, I was just looking around like, oh my God, like I'm here. It felt like you know, when you're like there and you know that's happening and you're just like, wow, I'm here right now. Yeah. And this is happening. Yeah, those are crazy moments. But that's the show that I met Royal, so it was a great night anyways. And then, you know, it turned out like not too much longer after that, I was kind of looking for other people to jam with, so eventually, I don't know how it happened. Did I call you or something?
Happened the way it was supposed to. I think you like messaged me and I was like, yeah, I'm down to jam/try out for that shit.
Yeah. So then that's what happened.
That's how it happened. Now, I want to say, where you're talking about like being a moment that like is never going to happen again, or like I was there. Like one of my best I was there stories is seeing you over at Bywater 3.5 years ago to 50 people. And being
our
like,
show got canceled, so we just bum rushed over there and played at the bar, man.
It was so good, man. I was like, I remember Drew had to ask me to step back because he thought I was gonna knock over the speakers because I was dancing.
He knows those people, you know. He does the like, you know, a lot of gigs over there and kind of sometimes does their jam and stuff, like hosts it, and so he's the one that got a hold of those folks, and man, our gig got canceled, so.
All I know is y'all took a set break, and I called every number in my phone that lived in Asheville and was like, you need to get your ass down to Bywater at this exact moment. So.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it was fun.
Well, so you've worked with Nash Camp before,
I
right?
have,
Can you tell us a
yeah.
little bit about that and about teaching people?
Well, Nash Camp was, the first time I went there was, gosh, it was like 2001 or 2 or something. I was like, it's like 9 years old or so, I think, the first time I went. And my brother had went with my grandpa the year before, and well, he was in the banjo class, and he wasn't learning anything because he was too good. So he went into the dobro class and was quickly the best dobro student in the class.
His brother Corey Walker's.
Yeah, my brother.
And y'all
Corey.
y'all put on like
player.
a family like concert every year around like January, right down where you're from.
Yeah, we always trying to do some Christmas shows. It's like it's always been our opportunity to get together and play, and we've done that for a few years now. But this last year, I got to teach at Nash Camp for the first time, which was huge. You know, it's like everything coming full circle, and it's that's where I made like all of my earliest connections with bluegrass musicians, and like Cindy Sinclair used to run it, and she's really connected, and now Emma Forrester, who's Asheville's own.
Yeah.
Is she from Asheville?
She lives here.
She lives here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now she's running the thing, and so it's really an honor to be asked to be teaching at something that I went to as a kid. You know. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Man, I imagine if like Mandolin Symposium was still going on, you'd be teaching there. You know?
Dude.
Could you
Yeah.
imagine
That needs to happen
That'd be
again.
crazy. Yeah, I know.
You need to make that happen.
Yeah.
So-
So Mike and Dog.
Yeah.
You better
Chris,
start
Mike,
this
and
up.
Dog.
Yeah. I
But
gotta-
so one thing I
Good
noticed when I kept reading about y'all is just like a lot of conversation about the Asheville scene or the Nashville scene, and how like for people y'all's age that are really trying to pursue music, there's just so many people to jam with there, Molly Tuttle and everybody else. Can y'all talk about that?
That's
Nashville?
why I
Like,
moved
Tell
there,
me
man.
about that community, man. It sounds cool.
So I can tell you about it from like, you know, because I'm sort of an outsider. Like I just moved there about 3.5 years ago, probably, you know. And so before that I lived in Traverse City, where there's plenty of great musicians,
Yeah.
but not really in the bluegrass realm. You know, there's a lot of great songwriters. There's a lot of great bands that are sort of doing their own thing, like even just their own kind of sound. But not a lot of people I can get together and, man, let's play you know, fiddle tunes or whatever, and let's play, you know, old Bill Monroe stuff or whatever. And that's the kind of shit I just love to jam on.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times up there I just played by myself, you know. And so eventually I moved to Nashville, and as soon as I got there, I basically was welcomed with open arms into this amazing thriving community of musicians that's like, you know, like you said, Molly Tuttle, John Mylander. I mean, there's just too many to name. Lindsay Lou and Josh Rilko are right across the street. I got, you know, Greer's always hanging out picking, and then of course like people like being able to get to know Brian Sutton and kind of become friends with those kind of cats.
Yeah.
And Bela and Sam and Jerry and all those
Yeah.
guys. It's an amazing scene, you know. It's like the real shit's happening at Jared's house. You know, that's like where that,
come on.
yeah.
Jared's house is the place to be in
Yeah,
Nashville,
it is.
apparently.
It's
It kinda
dude, it's
is.
like the jams that happen like on somebody's front porch or in somebody's backyard, or you know, when that stuff happens, I mean, you wouldn't believe it. It's like, you know, some of the best musicians in the world just texting each other and be like, hey, let's pick tonight, and having a couple beers and smoking a joint and getting together in somebody's backyard and just playing for the fun of it.
Yeah.
And man, there's some serious pickers down there. So it kicks my ass, you know.
Hell yeah.
It's like it pushes me to holy shit, you know, like Molly Tuttle and Brian Sutton and oh god, Jake Workman and there's all these amazing players everywhere. So it's like you better step your game up, kid.
Hell yeah.
So that's why I moved there, man. And
Keeps you on your toes.
it's working, you know. It's working because yeah, I have to keep playing. Otherwise, man, I don't know. Little Presley Barker's gonna come along, and I'm just gonna be his rhythm guitar player someday.
Well, I would be remiss where it's almost the holiday, and I'd be remiss to not talk about this if y'all want to talk about just the state and the country. It seems like some of these states are really moving forward, and then some states like North Carolina and Tennessee are
Oh,
actually
you said
moving
holiday,
backwards.
and I was like, what's a holiday?
Oh yeah, the holiday.
I remember.
420. So some of
Coming
these
up
states,
soon.
but some of these states are moving forward, and in states like North Carolina and Tennessee.
What's going on with
moving
North
backwards.
Carolina?
Man, they want to like, so Georgia has the worst like laws that they're trying to put in place right now. North Carolina wants to recriminalize it, and there's also people that want to have it legal, but we're not an initiative state, right? So we can't bring a ballot to the voting box and have people vote on it. The only way that we can introduce these laws in North Carolina is through politicians.
Wow.
But which sucks.
You gotta find
That does
politicians
suck.
that like weed.
Yeah.
They're out there.
Right? Right?
Yeah, I don't know. Michigan, I'm pretty proud of Michigan.
Michigan's killing it.
Yeah, and that's home sweet home for me. You know, that's where I'm from, and so I'm pretty stoked about that. Oregon is full on. Texas is not.
Texas. And they
We have to be very careful when we go visit.
I just
rural.
go to Austin when I go to Texas.
But
Not a
the
party.
continued criminalization of it's
Them
been
cops
proven
scare me,
it
though.
hurts a certain demographic of people, you know, the most.
It totally does.
And this
That's what's
country
messed up.
is in a weird spot right now, and I'd love to hear just y'all's thoughts on how we can get to a place of more healing and openness with each other to be able to move forward.
Yeah, totally, man. I'm all about that. I'd love to hear the same thing. I don't know how that's gonna happen. I think just people have to vote, and people have to get out there and pay attention to what's going on and kind of be a part of the community, you know.
Talk to each other,
Yeah.
not online.
Yeah, not online.
Yeah, that's the shit that's kind of getting in everybody's way and blurring everything
clouding
between
things.
people, you know. Because you wouldn't say some of the shit you'd say to somebody online standing right in front of them, you know.
Yeah.
Even no matter what their views are, if I was standing right in front of somebody, I'd likely probably be willing to hear them out a little bit more than on the computer screen.
Yeah.
That's why music's
And when
so
people
awesome.
only spend, 40% of their day off the screen, then, it's like kind of insane, you know?
Yeah. You say that's why music's so awesome.
Well, yeah, like the crowds we have, like that, they're full of people that wouldn't be hanging out together for probably any other reason.
It
Yeah.
brings people
You
together.
know, they're around people that they don't usually see, and like that's what we gotta do, man. We gotta like see each other face to face.
Yeah, and do shit.
Yeah, and do shit. for
Yeah,
sure.
listen to good music.
Hell yeah. Well, speaking of listening to good music, y'all want to give us one more song? on the way
Yeah,
out here?
totally.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much for being here. We are so happy to have you. This is Billy Strings. This is Get on the Bus, sponsored by IamAVL and Salvage Station. They're going to play us a song before they take off today, and Billy is going to get the words right.
I think so. Here we go. 1, 2, and away we go.
Thank y'all so much for giving us
Yeah.
Thank y'all, Billy Strings, Royal Massad, Jerry Walker, Billy Failing, and this is Get on the Bus presented by IamAVL and Salvage Station. We're so happy to have you with us today. Thank you guys again. Thank everybody. I don't even know what else to say. I'm just gonna
Me
stop
neither.
talking.
Crystalline entrance, men of weight, feeling heavy makes me wanna get victim of destiny,